What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Personified Fandom, episode 26. I am Josh Meany, and it's been a while, so, we got to get back into the routine here. But I got the boys with me, the men with me, the mythical man of movie madness himself, Mr. Mike Daggs. Mike, back from Italy.
Ciao.
How you doing?
Ciao. Pretty good. Not great. I'd rather be in Italy, but...
You would expect so much more from a man who just came back from Italy. Like, I'm all right. It was fine.
I'm good. I'm sorry. It was okay. Italy's an okay country.
Oh, yeah. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, the man of many names, the man of many drinks, Mr. Ginty, Mr. Toke, Mr. Eric. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Creepy.
I know. I'm feeling a little naked because obviously most people can see I don't have a beard.
No, he took the beard off, and we weren't early enough to come back to catch the full stash, which is very unfortunate. Maybe on the next episode, but it's still there. It's still lingering.
Yeah, so are you just gonna grow it back out, or are you? What's the plan with that?
I'll grow the beard back out again.
You don't want to keep the mustache, because I feel like if I could grow, because I think you, Josh, too, you got the same thing I got going on where it doesn't grow in the center. I'm like
so I
reverse
usually
Hitler.
take it off.
I'm like reverse Hitler, so I can't get the middle here. If I could just get the full cross and just beard, or just mustache, I might have tried it in my life at one point. Just go.
Oh man, I wish I could grow a mustache like that. I really do.
Yeah, it's pretty old timey and cool looking. Instead, I just got to settle with this onesie beard thing. But yeah.
But a lot has happened. I mean, we haven't done this in about a month. Hopefully, you've checked out some of the videos that we dropped in the meantime. But a lot of things happened, so we do have some topics that are a little bit older that we just have to touch on because it wouldn't be right if we didn't. And then we do have some new topics as well. But Mike, what are we going to start off with first?
So, Sam Raimi might be maybe thinking about possibly talking about in the future, maybe sometime possibly doing a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. This comes from Hayden Church, who is Sandman, who said that he overheard rumors of something maybe possibly in the works. So this is really a non-story. This is more of just us wanting to talk about it because we did the Spider-Man episodes a little while ago.
Right.
Sam Raimi was like, he did quote saying that he had a lot of fun doing Doctor Strange and that he would like to work with Tobey Maguire again, and just some stuff leading to it. But Hollywood moves in weird ways, and it feels like we're closer to getting things that we want whenever we want them, because how many times is like we want this and then they go, we're not doing that, and then everyone just goes, hey, please, everyone get in here and complain and let's get this, and it's like, all right, we'll do it. So if enough people just fucking complain and bitch about it, I guess we can do anything.
Right.
But,
yeah.
This is true. I mean, it's one of those things. I know a lot of people, I'm probably still left in that, maybe it's the minority now, that still wanted a fourth Spider-Man movie.
Oh, see, I don't think that's a minority at all. I think there's a pretty good group of people who would still be on board with a Spider-Man 4.
I would hope so, considering, it was basically the real kickstart that really got the MCU going.
Right.
You could argue Iron Man, because Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, not
really
the MCU, but like Marvel, the Marvel movies. Yeah,
they put comic
Marvel movies.
And X-Men are really what made people look at comic book movies like, oh shit, you can actually make good ones.
Yeah, because the first big one was really Blade, but I feel like when Blade came out, like when you thought of Blade, a lot of people I don't think thought of Marvel. You know what I mean? That's not a big like, oh shit, Marvel. Yeah, I had no idea until I was a little bit older.
It was an alarming amount of time before I knew. Probably,
really,
I'd probably say 10 years ago, maybe. I just never even thought of Blade being like, because it's like, especially the way they present it, like he fucking like it's such a gory, bloody movie trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
I never associated that with a comic book franchise. I mean, I knew there was a comic book, I just didn't associate it with Marvel, especially when like Disney took Marvel. It's like it put it under that Disney umbrella thing. So you think Disney, you're like Blade, Bambi, Aladdin, Cookie
It
Cutter,
doesn't
MCU.
exactly go into the
That doesn't
rotation.
really,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely
But
that first Spider-Man movie Sam Raimi is in. The first X-Men, which came out in the same year or
relative
like a
same
year
year,
apart.
2001.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the big kickoff. Look, I mean, I've always wanted a Spider-Man 4. I always will want a Spider-Man 4. And if you want to make a Spider-Man 4, you damn right I'll be at the theater. And I think if you would have asked me maybe 2 years ago, I probably would have told you it wasn't the greatest idea because it would have confused a lot of people. Like, I didn't think people would be able to get on board with it. And I mean, like, the newer fans, you know what I mean, and the casual moviegoers.
Yeah.
But in the time that we're living, where everyone wants to do a multiverse thing all of a sudden, I do think people would just take it and just fine, let's do it. I hope the rumor's true. I hope the rumor's true, but I also feel like if anyone's to get another Spider-Man movie, I think it's Andrew Garfield. I think he's the one who really needs that other Spider. I feel like the way, like, we got 3 decent Spider-Man. We did our ranking of the Spider-Man films, and I think we got a decent amount with Tobey Maguire, and then even the way he kind of talks about things that happened after Spider-Man 3, like everything kind of worked out. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a closing for Tobey Maguire in No Way Home. But with Andrew Garfield, he just talks about how he got, he got angry, he got bitter. Like, there's no real resolution there. It's kind of like you send him back to his universe, now what? You send Tobey back to his universe, and I imagine he walks through the door, Mary Jane's there, and his daughter comes and hugs his leg. And, like, that's what I get when I think of Tobey. But Andrew Garfield, I'm like, he goes back, and is he just sad again?
So I think what I want more than just like a genuine story from one of them is I would like another more in-depth type of from No Way Home. Like I would want something more with the 3 of them. And like you said, I mean, some of it did cap off nicely, and we don't always need answers to every single thing in every movie universe. I feel like we always get like, well, what happened about this and where'd this go? And it's like we don't always need answers. You can kind of make it up in your own brain, and like I get seeing more of it would be great, but I don't know. I think that let's tell some other stories. There's only so many stories you could tell in the Tobey Maguire universe, and I do believe that the Garfield one, he should, the justice for the 3rd movie for him. Hashtag
ended so abruptly. It was an abrupt ending.
I do like the commentary in that movie where he's like, I got mad, I got bitter after it all ended, and it's kind of like a commentary on like how he must have felt just kind of getting lampooned. He loved playing Spider-Man, and then they just were like, it must be kind of a kick in the nuts to like land a good gig like that and it kind of get ruined by directors
when
and
you did nothing
choices.
wrong. You did nothing
but
wrong.
like your part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody's faulting him for the acting in that movie. Like,
I don't think anyone ever has. Yeah.
No. So it's just tough.
If they do a Spider-Man 4, like I don't want it. I want like a Logan type thing. I want it to be an older Spider-Man, like maybe not even really crime fighting like that anymore. Maybe his son is or his daughter is out there, like, because genetics, I know in the comics he has a daughter who goes on to be Spider-Girl, and like if they did something kind of like that would be cool. But I don't.
We're probably getting to that, right? I mean, it feels like they're actually passing it on, like they're actually passing on the superheroes to the next generation of superheroes, which I don't know how long that's going to last. And that'll be a problem. I mean, maybe we could bring it up in another topic, but like where the MCU is going, where it's just ditching all the OG characters, eventually people are just going to stop caring about the new ones just because you're introducing powers that people don't care about. Blue Beetle. And then you're just introducing, like, you're taking away from those legacy characters, and that's where it starts to just become Like it's not
No.
gonna. They're eventually gonna stop making money if you start trying to throw too many like, oh, it's the son of Iron Man, it's his
Yeah.
daughter is now Iron Girl, and you're like, I don't care. I want that character, not
That's a
this one.
very valid point, which I think we will end up
Yes.
getting into towards actually the end of this episode.
Oh, wow.
Just kind of
Yeah,
the state of like what are we doing? You know, we're so overpopulated with these comic book films that it's like, and I know there's also this thing that's like people call it comic book fatigue, but I don't fully believe in comic book fatigue because there's so many different things that you can do in the comic book world. It's just they've gotten so lazy.
Yes.
You know, you look at the Blue Beetle trailer and it looks like any other superhero origin movie that you've ever seen. You know, it's just lazy. It's not comic book fatigue. It's laziness fatigue.
Tone.
You know,
you just
like,
took the skin tone of the main character and turned it brown, and you're like, there you go.
Yeah,
it's fucking Spider-Man. It's like, dude, it's Peter Parker, man.
Yeah, like there hasn't been any point where they delivered us a great comic book film and we were just like, nah, we're kind of done with comic book movies. That hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen.
No.
You know, I felt fatigued, and then they did Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'll bring up because I just rewatched it today. It came on Disney Plus.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it dropped today. And I just rewatched it, and I'm like,
I'll have to watch it
comic
Sunday,
book fatigue is a myth, man. Like, you have a great comic book film. I'm not turning this away because it's a comic book film. You know, it just...
If they announced Iron Man 4 with Robert Downey Jr. coming back, it would sell $1 billion. It would make $1 billion at the theater. So there's no comic book fatigue. It's just the stories you're telling we don't care about. We're not as interested in.
You're recycling. You're recycling and changing, you know? You're copying the homework but putting your name at the top. Like, that's all that you're doing. And that's what we're fatigued by. That's what we're fucking sick of. What was the topic?
But yeah, I don't. Spider-Man 4. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure it's the rumors are true. I'm sure that they're in talks about it. I'm sure, you know, the executives and directors and all these people meet at bars to talk about everything. But how close is it to actually becoming a reality? I don't know. I think that like again, we say landscape of this and landscape of that. I think it's no one's championing for it, and they're not in a place where they're fully comfortable about opening up a whole bunch of universes for one-offs, because if you're going to make one thing, it's got to be combined with the other. You know, there's an arch that they're doing. As dumb and as slow and as lazy as it is, they do have a plan. It's just not a very good one. My opinion anyway. And I don't see this fitting into there unless they just go, fuck it, we're going to do kind of what DC's doing and just go, yeah, there's a couple Batman right now. There's a couple Jokers.
Yeah.
It's just all different.
It's so dangerous. So dangerous.
But
especially because you have Tom Holland, then you got Miles Morales in the animation, and then you want to do Toby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want to do Andrew, you know, there's talks about that. Like, it's
unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to happen because Tobey Maguire is not getting any younger, you know? And I mean, I do like the Logan approach for it where he's older, but I don't know. You get that like happy-go-lucky feeling from his universe. So do you want to see him old and unable to do it anymore?
Yes.
You got a piece of it
Maybe.
in No Way Home, and yeah, I guess...
It could be a dangerous road to take.
Well,
I totally get what you're saying. Like, you're exactly right. That happy-go-lucky, that universe does that call for an old man Spidey, you know. But also, it doesn't really have to be gritty, though. It doesn't have to be like a Logan type gritty. It could just be an older Peter.
Again, if you give the right person to handle, sure, it could be awesome. But I don't know if they're gonna. If Sam Raimi, is he gonna do it though? That's the thing. Like, is he capable of doing that?
I don't want anyone else to do it personally, which might be a dangerous thing to say.
To be honest with you, I wasn't really too impressed with Doctor Strange 2, so I don't really know how I feel with Sam Raimi doing anything else. So I don't know. I didn't like. It was fine. If anything, I didn't like it more than I liked it. I came away from that movie just like, okay, that was that. You introduced some cool stuff, but it just, I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like he probably didn't have as much of an input in the writing process, I think, as he did with the Spider-Man films. That he did with Toby.
That one felt like there was you have to do these things in it, just direct
Yeah, because like when you
like
saw Sam Raimi being Sam Raimi, you're like, this is good shit. But then there's story points that I just don't think he had part in.
They took the storyboard and were like, this is staying. You're doing all this, but you can just direct it around any way you want. And that's what it felt. And I didn't care for the, like, you know, Scarlet Witch being the most powerful thing ever. Far more powerful than anything you've ever seen before on screen.
Or ever will see.
And ever will see on screen. To just be
Stay
able to be like,
tuned for a couple topics.
the guys that beat Thanos, yeah, you just steamroll them, absolutely make them look like the shit. What's that B team that gets killed? The in the comics for Civil War, that group, there was a group
Defenders?
that got killed because they. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. My brain's going somewhere else. But I just didn't like that she smoked them all so quickly. Just like, yeah. You guys whooped Thanos, but like, I don't really care. That's fine. You're dead. You're dead. But yeah, staying on brand. This is like just a mainly MCU episode. You should just
it's a comic book episode through and through.
Yeah. We did get something that I think we all are definitely excited for, and that's Deadpool 3. While we were, I think I just got back from Italy when we got the first look at Hugh Jackman.
I think you were still in Italy, weren't you? I'm pretty sure you were still on vacation, no?
Huge Ackman.
I might have either coming back or transitioning back to America when this dropped, and I was very excited. I love the
comic accurate costume.
I love the yellow spandex, and I love when they made and I think is it the second one or the first one where he goes, what do you want me to wear, yellow spandex or something, where they allude to it,
and they tease it in Wolverine, the movie Wolverine, at the end when he opens the case. You're like, oh fuck.
Yep. So I love it. I love that they're getting to a place where they can make like comic book and cartoon accurate like suits and stuff, because it is tough to do, like especially in the early like 2000s, where it's like they can't be too flashy because it does look weird when it's like bright ass spandex and leather fighting, and you're like, what is this? But we all want that. We all want the like what we grew up on, how we see Wolverine with the yellow and blue. Where it's funny because I see when I think Wolverine, I think the what's the brown and orange suit that he had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that one. That's mine because I had the action figure. That's the action figure.
It's very close.
For
to
me,
this.
It's like ingrained. Yes,
yeah, but
it's just literally like orange and brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you know what? Actually, cool one I had the one from what movie was that one where they run into him? Was that Days of Futures Past, where he has like the thing on his eye and he's got the test tubes everywhere?
That was
just got the adamantium. I think it was Days of Future Past, right? Because it was the time travel one.
No, was it that one? No, it was when they all escape. Isn't that First Class?
No, it's not First Class because I just watched that recently.
Nah,
and they also show Professor X, right, standing with the CGI face.
Yeah, it was. So it wasn't First Class because First Class is when they go run into him in a bar and he's like.
Yeah,
get lost.
That's what we're recording is fuck off.
Or
so then it had was it
whatever he
Apocalypse?
said.
He says fuck off. Yeah,
fuck off.
Apocalypse. It might have been
Apocalypse then. Yeah.
Why would they run into his? I don't even know. It doesn't matter.
Their timeline. Their timeline went out
that
the fucking
timeline
window.
Bonkers. No, I love that. I love that look, and I'm pumped for that movie. What else are you gonna say about that, Josh?
There's also rumors that Elektra is going to be in this.
That's actually confirmed.
It is it's confirmed.
It's Daredevil that's the rumor, but
this is bringing you extreme joy and a little tingle in your nether regions because we all know how much you love the OG Daredevil movie.
Oh my god! If this son of a bitch walks on screen as Daredevil, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, I'm gonna lose my shit.
He's got some time on his hands. He's not being Batman anymore.
He's got time.
Mm-hmm. And the rumors about him returning, like, because there was rumors that he's been on set, but no one really knew why, but that was the assumption. And then it got confirmed that Elektra would. There's no way you're going to bring Elektra and not show Daredevil in some capacity, whether it's 3 seconds or like, there's no way. And if and when it happens, yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to get excited about that.
See, you know what kind of bums me out though? Nowadays it's so hard to be like surprised by things just because like the media availability is everywhere.
It's so
like even if he shows up in the movie, it's not even gonna be a surprise. It'll be like, oh, they actually did it. But like
that's what it is now. Yeah, it's no longer like it's like, oh, they actually did. It's very rare that I get surprised like that in films now.
Yeah.
Although
like
I did get I did get surprised like that in Multiverse of Madness when John Krasinski was Reed Richards. I didn't read anything about that being happening, and when that happened, I was like, oh, like that. But that's a very rare feeling that only happens once in a while. I feel like.
Oh come on, you weren't all surprised and excited to see Nick Cage Superman?
Yeah, no.
I was jarred. I was jarred. The CGI had me jarred, you know. If the CGI didn't look the way it was when they showed Christopher Reeves, I probably would have pissed myself. But the fact that it looked like a PlayStation 3 game, I was a little more jarred than surprised.
The only reason that was such a surprise is because half people didn't even understand who that was.
Yeah, they're like, what
I saw him like twice, and I was like, then I remember I leaned over to you, Genty, and I was like, is that Nick Cage? And we're like, oh my god, that's right, because he did test footage as Superman, so it was Nick Cage. And then they showed him again, and I was like, oh, definitely. But like the only reason why George Clooney was a surprise for anyone is because they shot 4 different fucking versions of it. So that's what studios, in order to get true surprises, that's what they have to do now, is shoot multiple versions of it so it doesn't get out. Like, because so they're also talking about there could be a possible like huge villain for this one. Like one of the villains could be Thanos, could be Scarlet Witch, could be fucking Kane the Conqueror. Like it could be they're saying it could be anybody really, which again I'm surprised we won't get that spoiled for us, but
we probably will as time goes on. We'll probably get more of an idea. That I think, and I posted this on Facebook. I had a fucking theory about this, and then everyone had the same theory. I swear to God. But I really think that this film is going to be Deadpool killing the Marvel Universe. That comic book, which I actually own, it's a great comic book, but I think they're doing their rendition of it where he's going to be killing off the Fox characters. And I think that's why Elektra is going to be in it, and Daredevil, and I think we're going to see the Fantastic Four from the first 2 that they did. I think we're going to see those characters, and I think he's going to be going through killing off the Fox universe, because there was a leaked picture, and it kind of looks like they're in like this desert, and it almost looks like they're in the void from Loki. And in the background is the 21st Century Fox sign, like broken. And I'm like, yo, that might be exactly what they're doing, which I think is a genius idea. I really do. Awesome. I think that movie will make $1 billion. That's a $1 billion film.
Epic.
Like, you got to be kidding me.
Do it.
That's a far better reset than the DCEU is doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Doing it.
And then
I wanted like such a harder reset from that. They just were like,
oh yeah, we're definitely we'll definitely get into that too when we get into our little Wonder Woman topic later. Spoiler for later. But and as far as Logan though, having Hugh Jackman come back after he was adamant about not coming back, I think he read the script and was like, "This is." Yes, you know
can't miss type shit.
Because Ryan Reynolds has been on his ass about coming back, and he's been saying no. He's like, nah, he's done. He doesn't want to do the workout thing anymore, which he doesn't really have to do now that he has this new suit. Yeah, but I think we have something great coming. I think we have another No Way Home that comes out. We're like, it's gonna be the biggest fucking shit when this comes out.
So that's what I wanted. That's what if it does, let's say like your prediction is true, which I want it to be so bad, more than you know. This is exactly what I wanted the DCU to do. I wanted them to like big stakes, kill everybody, and reset like something, and we didn't get that. We just got Batman dying, which is spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Flash, which I bet you didn't because
If
no
you
one
haven't
did.
at this point, like you're probably not
No one
gonna.
saw it. That's the problem with it. No one saw this movie, so I know you didn't see it. But it just didn't feel like the epic that we were promised. It was just a Flash movie. It wasn't this hard reset like they said. It was just everyone. Aquaman's drunk in a pool somewhere. Wonder Woman said peace out, and like they're just like,
No, Puddle.
Puddle, yeah, Puddle. Sorry. um, I was pissed that was the final credits too. Like,
Yeah.
the more I get away from that movie, the more mad it makes me. So I try to just forget that it exists. Otherwise, I can just get more mad about it. But
Yeah,
no,
it's funny
I
you
would
say that
say-
because I rewatched it last week,
Yeah.
and we go check out our spoiler review of The Flash. We have it up on the channel. But rewatching that movie and thinking about my review on that video, I was like, I don't agree with a lot of shit I said. Like, it doesn't hit the same when I'm not sitting in the theater watching it for the first time. I rewatched that shit and I was like, wow, this is a fucking disaster, isn't it? Like, how did I not see that the first time around? I still enjoy it. I still do think it is an enjoyable movie. I
Yes,
do
I think it's
think
a fun
that. I
movie.
stand. Yeah, it's
but
a
there's
fun
some major
movie.
problems.
But for a
Oh.
movie of that importance, it threw the ball across the field. It didn't even drop it. It got rid of that
They
shit.
were
It
they were
was done.
100% blowing smoke up our ass with like this is one of the best comic book movies
Since
ever
The
made.
Dark
No,
Knight.
it was not. No, it wasn't. Not even close.
Maybe if I was fucking stoned.
Your main like third act twist turn, like big climactic third act lead in, is just Kara Kent being like, "I'm not helping you. Yeah, I'll help you." So that's what it was. Just like, oh, okay.
To
She
me,
saw that guy was killing people that she didn't care about, and then now she's like, I'm not. I don't want him to do that. Like, it's
Yeah,
just
the whole
very-
movie is them being like, we need the story to move forward, and we'll do whatever it takes to do that immediately. That is like the theme of the entire film.
Yeah, yeah. But I will say, so I will kind of skip and lead into that because we're already on this pace, and I do want to save the Secret Invasion stuff for last because I feel like I have the most to say about that. I don't know about you guys, but the Wonder Woman 4. Josh, you start. What's the topic again? Because this was added super late.
Yes, so Wonder Woman 3, actually. So Wonder Woman 3, a post
Fourth
just
topic,
came out
Wonder Woman
today. The post just came out today that Gal Gadot confirmed that she is working with James Gunn and James Safran on a Wonder Woman 3 film, which means she is returning to play Wonder Woman again. And this is so fucking dumb. Like, I felt immediately enraged because it's like James Gunn comes on. It's time for this hard reset. No, fuck all that. You got rid of Henry Cavill, and you're gonna have Gal Gadot come back and play Wonder Woman. And then I'm pretty sure you're about to have what's his face come back as Aquaman. The way you ended Flash, it makes it seem like you're not done with him. What was wrong with Cavill? What was wrong with Affleck? Those are the only two characters that you're planning on rebooting is Batman and Superman, which were the only two characters that I wanted to stay in the franchise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fucking facts.
Fuck
It's
you.
almost like they really don't know what they're doing.
It feels that way, Mike. I gotta say, all the trust I put into James Gunn, I almost feel like someone else is in his ear because he's making some weird decisions, man. It sounds like things that he are saying, like we want to go this different direction, have this different kind of Superman and this different kind of bat. Like it sounds right, but then you have these little things in what he's saying that sound like they aren't coming from him. They sound like they're coming from a studio. They're like, well. You know, Aquaman made a lot of money. We gotta keep him. You know, Wonder Woman 2, it wasn't greatly received, but people really want to see Wonder Woman, and that movie did really good. Like, it sounds like a studio is interfering, which is very strange when you're ahead of the studio.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how much did Wonder Woman 2? Wonder Woman 2 couldn't have made that much money, right?
It made significantly significantly less because it came out during the pandemic and it dropped on HBO Max. But if it only would have went to theaters, even though it wasn't good in my opinion, it would have made a lot more money because the first one, people were coming off the height of that. Everyone wanted to see the second one.
You know, it still made 169 million versus 200 million, which is pretty good for coming out during COVID and when
that is still pretty good.
When it dropped on HBO Max like the next day. So, but yeah.
Ginty, you see that? Are you making a face because of that comment?
Yeah, I just hid that and I'm gonna delete it.
Mr. Guru, please do not spam our live video.
Yeah, no, it's that's crazy because it made $100 million less than The Flash, which came out just recently.
Yeah, The Flash bombed. The Flash absolutely bombed, which I still think is. I don't think that's fair. I still don't think, as many problems as I have with that movie shouldn't have bombed in the theater, but it's because of the aroma that DC has around their films that made it plummet like that. It didn't deserve that.
This was leading up to my point in why they're kind of going back to the things that somewhat worked instead of hard resetting. It's not about the fans. It's not about the studio. It's about the investments, the investors who pay for these movies. I bet you someone's telling them, James, you got to bring some people back and give them hope. You can't just reset everything and take it into a direction that's completely unknown. Even though everybody wants that, you can't do that because the people who pay for these movies don't want to hear, we're just going to do whatever we want now. They want to see some sort of some continuation from what they had. So, yeah, I knew they wouldn't just nuke the whole thing and start over from
and
scratch.
To kind of back that up, like Man of Steel didn't do great in the theater. Doesn't have much to back it. I mean, the fans are clamoring, but studios usually don't give a fuck about that. And then you have Ben Affleck's Batman, who never had his solo movie, so it's so easy to be like, was he profitable for us? You know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it was easy for them.
It made sense. Aquaman did decent, I think.
Aquaman it made $1 billion.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the movie made $1 billion. That's why that one off the top, I was like, all right, fine.
2018,
I'll give you that one. I'll give it to you. Hand it to you.
2018, I feel like we as consumers were just handing out $1 billion to all these movie studios. 2018 was a time where we were just like
signing over checks. Yeah.
Give me it. I'll watch all these comic book movies.
I'll watch it.
And then
4
we got
times.
to a point of, I'll go back 3 times and watch this. I mean, fucking Jesus Christ, the Avengers movies made probably $150, $200 off of me just by watching them so many times in the theaters.
God!
I saw Endgame twice opening week. I saw Endgame twice opening weekend. I saw Endgame twice, and I saw Infinity War twice opening weekend. So they made and I bought tickets for people too. So they made $100 off me those 2 weekends. I feel like it's a 6.8 too on IMDb, and it made $1 billion. That's
I don't like Aquaman. I don't even like that fucking movie. I didn't even go to the theaters to see it, and it still made $1 billion. Me, who goes to the theaters by himself to see a bunch of shit, I didn't even go see that fucking movie, and it made $1 billion.
I kind of want to see what movies what's the top earning movies in 2018? Because
it would be Infinity War, right? Was 2018.
Oh my god. Yeah, and Infinity War, Fallen Kingdom, and wait, where are these numbers? I want to see them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Comic book movies.
700. Where is this? Yeah, 700, 600, 600, 400, 300, 260. Those are all basically. That's nuts. Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry. But. Yeah. I don't know. So I just don't. I Wonder Woman 2 was so bad that I'm surprised that they're continuing with it after they've announced that they are gonna reset everything. I am kind of surprised, but I'm not. But I am. It seems of more disarray than. I don't know. I don't know if DCU can continue this crap.
Yeah,
I feel like something really bad's going to happen.
And is Gal Gadot like that beloved as Wonder Woman? Like that's my question. Is it that important that you bring back Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman? Because I feel like you could easily recast her. Now she's fine. She's fine, but it's not like I don't feel the way I feel about Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm like, no, I want more. I feel like I need more of Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't feel like I need more of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. You can bring in somebody else, and I'd be like, fine, let's do it. Because Gal Gadot is a fine actress. She's fine. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's great. And I think there's a plethora of actresses who can come in and play Wonder Woman. I feel personally that I'm not that attached to her as that character. So it's kind of another thing that surprises me. Like, and maybe there's a whole bunch of people who are, maybe I'm just out of that realm, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel that way.
If they want to bring her back, I'm okay with her playing Wonder Woman. I'm totally fine with it. Just don't let her be in charge of the movie. Because that's really what happened with 1984 was she had like most of the control, where I think it was like her vision, most of her writing. I
think it was a combination of both. Patty Jenkins also, like Patty Jenkins, you're the director. You have a studio that's backing you the way you do. You don't have to listen to Gal Gadot for everything she wants to do. I mean, what credibility does she have to make these decisions for another film? Honestly, what was she in before? Fast and the Furious? Like,
yeah. I don't think anybody's going to the theater for her. Like, it's more of the story than like her. I think.
I mean,
maybe I don't know. It could be.
She's got obviously, she had a huge following after that first movie. I mean, it was.
She did. A lot of people enjoyed it, and like I said, like I'm definitely not trying to bash on Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And I know it kind of it's coming off like that a little bit, and that's not what I'm trying to do at all. I think she did a fine job, but I just like, did we need it? Just pisses me off because there's no way in hell you can tell me it was a smart decision to get rid of keep Gal Gadot, but get rid of Henry Cavill as Superman. Because I hear the clamoring of Henry Cavill playing Superman. It's all over the internet. I don't see that for Gal Gadot. It makes zero sense.
That's it.
Yeah. It's not like, you're going to I didn't see anyone mad about recasting Wonder Woman or even Aquaman. I didn't see any of that. It was people were talking shit about them recasting Batman. But then we got Robert Pattinson, and of course he did what he did, which was awesome. And then people were talking shit about them recasting Superman. But like Flash, Cyborg, like, and I think the only reason they're not bringing Ezra Miller back, honestly, is because Flash didn't do well. I don't think they care about all the legal troubles. I really feel that way. I think the only reason he's not coming back is because the movie didn't do well.
People don't want him.
And they left the door open, though. They were like, I feel like they were like, if this movie makes $1 billion, he's coming back. And I guarantee you, if it made 800 million, 900 million, he would have came back. They would have brought him back. Yeah. They would have.
Which in to harken back to 2018 and the status of movies here, Venom made 800 million.
Yeah, Venom did really well.
Bohemian Rhapsody made 900 million.
Yep.
Aquaman, Incredibles 2, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Black Panther, and Infinity War all made $1 billion.
$1 billion, yeah.
With Infinity War making $2 billion. So that's.
I'm pretty sure that was the highest grossing year for movies was 2018.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm pretty sure. Because there was multiple movies making a bit. Because then 2019 was Endgame, and I believe Lion King was 2019. If I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure, didn't that movie make $1 billion?
I got it right here.
Pretty sure it did.
Endgame made 2.7 billion. The Lion King made 1. Frozen 2 made 1.4. Spider-Man, Far From Home, Captain Marvel, and Joker and Rise of Skywalker. Oh, and Toy Story 4 and Aladdin and Jumanji. So it was definitely 2019.
It had to be 2019 then.
There's
okay.
9 movies that made $1 billion.
I knew it was one of
So
them. It was either the
2019.
Infinity War year or the Endgame year that was just insane for film. And rightfully
number
so.
10
I mean,
movie.
those movies you named off for 2019, I don't really have a problem with any of them making $1 billion. Like,
outside of
they
Rise
should.
of Skywalker.
I wouldn't even. I fucking hate that movie, but
I
it made $1 billion.
Of course, it made $1 billion.
Yeah,
like, Aladdin made $1 billion. That's crazy to me.
That's a little surprising.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Aladdin was garbage. Jumanji
I like Aladdin more than Lion
I
King.
liked it. I liked Aladdin.
I like Aladdin more than
Lion
I
King.
think a lot of people did. Maybe me and Ginty might be closer in the.
Aladdin was far better than the Lion King was, but it was still.
I actually thought Lion King was great as well.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. It was like the first 15 minutes of the film. I was like, holy shit. And then I got to a point where I'm like, the animated version is so much better that I feel like I'm wasting my time.
They should have done more
visually
of a Sonic.
Looks incredible, but.
They should have leaned more like the Sonic the Hedgehog mode where it was like realistic but still had cartoonish things to it.
It was
you just lose when there's no human aspect to it. It completely lost me.
Yeah.
But if Jumanji the Next Level came out in November, it makes $400 million. No chance it makes $800 million. If Jumanji the Next Level comes out this year, it's like a $400 million, maybe $300 million movie. Not an
especially with The Rock not
movie.
doing what he did. Because I honestly think if you took out Black Adam, I would give it more than $400 million. But with the star power that The Rock had, and Kevin Hart even, but now the people seem to have kind of a sour taste in their mouth of The Rock from Black Adam because he was so it's gonna be
and because he's everywhere.
Ever, and then
I feel like he's just everywhere. Wow.
Yeah.
Just to oh my god, I'm sorry, we're on a train here, but 2020, the highest grossing movie was Demon Slayer. $500 million.
What else came out in 2020?
Kimetsu.
What was Demon Slayer? I don't even know what the hell that is.
Bad Boys for Life. Tenet. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, because Tenet was my return to the theater. I remember the theaters were closed for mad long for COVID.
If Tenet comes out this
came
year,
out and I went back and I saw it.
If Tenet comes out instead of Oppenheimer this year, I feel like it makes double what it made. It made $300 million.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it made double.
Yeah, people being scared to go back to the theater definitely worked against Tenet because even though Tenet wasn't as great as the trailers were fucking crazy. Like, people wanted to see Tenet.
Yeah. It's so crazy to watch. And then 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home almost made $2 billion. But that's the only one that even made $1 billion. It made $1 billion more than the Battle at Lake Changjua? I don't even know. It might be a Chinese movie. I don't know. We've gone on a tangent here, and I can't stop looking up shit because it's crazy.
It's interesting. But it's definitely interesting.
It's super interesting. And then you slowly see it as you click the years. You slowly see it start to come back where it's like, Super Mario.
Oh, yeah. People are back to the movies now. I think that whole thing is kind of over now. Like, if it's a good movie, people are going to go see it.
So
for the most
I still need to go. I need to go see Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer was good. Yeah.
So, bringing this all back around to small screen, not big screen. Secret Invasion. We all watched it, which is, I wouldn't say surprising, but it's surprising that we all caught up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
For instance, myself, I watched it in one day, which is pretty insane for me because I was supposed to work. I had a couple hours free, so I decided to watch the first 2 episodes. That turned into 3 episodes, which turned into 4 episodes. And then I said, well, fuck it. I'm almost done. I might as well just power through this. Which maybe I should have stopped at the last episode because that's where it kind of lost it for me. Gitsy, what was your overall thinking of the show? You were the last one to watch it, so.
I actually enjoyed it. You know, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be, you know what? I really like the fucking show. I did see a lot of the reviews and all that shit and people calling it, basically saying trash. All the critics giving it garbage scores, especially the last episode. And going through the comments, I didn't see a single negative one.
Negative
So
comment?
that
You didn't see a negative comment, or you didn't?
I did not see a single negative comment. I scrolled for a little while and I was like, yep, 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 yep. Nothing that was negative. I was like, goes to show I fucking don't trust critics anymore. So that gave me hope for the last episode. And there was some things in it. I was like, all right, that's a little weird, but you know what? Altogether, I still thought it was good, and I liked the fact that there was the whole thrown in there. Why don't you call your super friends? And like, because and he goes and says, because I can't rely on them for every little thing. This is on me. I'm going to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
which is a little inconsistent because you're talking about like a world-ending event, which is kind of silly that they didn't. But I like the sentiment.
Yeah.
Like I like the initiative of like where they went with it. Where they tried to keep it more low key than what I
Yes.
usually hate when everything's like the world's gonna end if you don't stop this guy from nuking everybody, which is basically what the show was. But it felt way less like world threatening because of it. Because
I
it
think
didn't.
when he said those words, when he said why he wouldn't call the Avengers, I believe in that
Mhm.
moment in the show, that was true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could get behind it. I think once we get
exactly.
into the later
Same.
episodes, it's like, I think it's time. I think
Yeah.
it's time to pick
Yeah,
up
I
the
think it's time to
phone.
call him up, buddy, because you're struggling right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say mine, and then Josh, I guess you can talk about yours. I liked this a lot more than I think the general population did, and certainly a lot more than the scores reflect. For some reason, Rotten Tomatoes not working for me on my laptop right now, but I actually liked this show all the way, like most people, I think, until the last episode. And my beefs with it were what I hate about a lot of villains and movie tropes that you see with any type of extended powers that people have. When the bad guy gets the power, suddenly he's just completely dominant and completely better than the hero, if you will, with their
Yeah.
own powers. Which I can't. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in movies, when they just were like, I know how to do everything. And in this case, we got it two times because two people got powers, and immediately two people who I don't think have ever met half of the people that using the powers that they had. So I don't understand why you would just suddenly know how to do things. Like my biggest beef is with freaking Ma, the whatever Ma, when he just
Ebony
uses
Maw,
that
yeah.
Ebony Ma, when he uses his power. I'm like, you've never met that guy. How would you like know? I mean, I guess you went back and watched some Tony Stark, helicopter footage to learn about the
Well, I
harvest or
think it
whatever. But
I think it has to do with the actual just the DNA itself with them because I believe they've kind of explained that with the scrolls that by replicating the DNA they have an understanding of what they are to a certain point.
no, because they have to suck out their memories, like in the rest of them. All of them have to like do that memory shit to know what the hell they are. So like,
Well, to go in to an extensive amount, yes, but they've done it like if you go back to Captain Marvel, there was no memory swiping; they were just looking and took over, and they knew what the person was
yeah,
to a certain amount of time back.
I guess I just also that's not my biggest beef. The whole kind of fight with this, it's stupid in general. And if you want to describe to me that like they're not as powerful as they seem to be, that fight, like, so now you just have the chick is a super scroll, whatever.
Yeah,
It just felt unearned, empty. Like the whole show did such a good job of propping up Nick Fury, and then to
yeah.
have the fine finale basically not really to do anything other than go and kill the Rhodey replica or whatever it was. Um, yeah, I don't know, but other than that, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the espionage part of it. I did, there was a lot of parts where I was like, I think it's going to go one way and it goes kind of a different way. It wasn't super predictable, but still was a little bit. I don't know. I thought all the characters were done pretty well. Um, it did kind of have this overarching thing where anybody could have been a Skrull, so that was cool. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not as out on it as a lot of people. I think if I were to rate it, I'd give it like a nice 7. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I definitely don't regret watching it.
that's a solid fucking. I agree with that score 100%.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's
I
a
didn't hate it.
solid 7.5. You know,
It
it's
actually had me. It was interesting.
yeah.
So Josh, where are you at on it? I know you're making a drink there.
Yeah, it was. So I think it's so hard to say like my overall thought on the show as a whole because I thought the last episode was so bad to the point where the more I thought about it and the more that days went on, the more it turned me off not to the show, but it turned me off to the MCU as a whole. So I think up until the end, I think this was in my top 3 favorite MCU Disney Plus shows. Period. I think it would be WandaVision, Loki, and then it would have been Secret Invasion. That would have been like my top 3 for the Disney Plus shows. And I just, the way it ends is so, it felt so rushed. It felt like they were like, okay, let's wrap everything up in this episode right here, no matter the cost, no matter what we have to do, we have to wrap this up. I think Gravik. I think Gravik was an incredible villain. Incredible. I mean, top 5
God,
MCU villains of all time, in my opinion. The
Diabolical.
acting, everything about him. But then at the end, you just have him. You do the cheapest shit, the corniest shit in the world that you could possibly do. He gets the DNA of every single Avenger. Or every single, not Avenger, every single MCU character we've ever seen. That is the most OP shit I've ever seen in my life. I was baffled by it. And it's like, maybe I could move on. Maybe. But then you did it again. You did it again with Emilia Clarke's character. And for some reason, she fucking wipes the floor with this guy. Like, she barely puts up a fight in the beginning and then she kills him. Why did she kill him? Why? How did she kill him? They're just as powerful as each other. There's no explanation. There's no explanation as to why, kind of like Mike was saying, why they can just use their powers. I get if you get the Hulk's leg and you immediately know to just kick someone in the fucking face. Sure. But you get Ebony Maw's arm and you suddenly are, you go to Hogwarts for witchcraft and wizardry? Like, you just know what to do? And then, like, why do you get Drax's arm and it has all the tattoos? What the fuck does that have to do with his DNA? Like, maybe I'm looking too into certain things, but
if you're trying to show strength, why wouldn't you just be the Hulk then? Because he's stronger. It's just
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what the fuck.
There was Hulk arm.
I know
there was a Hulk arm. There was.
It's like, why? So my problem is if you're so conscious to all their powers, just become the Hulk because he's the strongest one. He's literally, I mean, they at one point they became Abomination. Hulk's stronger than him. Why would you know that? Because you know their powers, you know how they all work.
Yeah.
You know the intricacy of it all. So it's just doing it to do it. Like, I have Drax's arm. See, it's Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. See that? The tattoos, that means it's Drax. Cool. And I'm going to punch. It's like
the Mantis.
Why?
The Mantis antennas, when they came out, she's like, sleep. How the fuck do you know that? How do you know that? It doesn't, you didn't give me the information that I need for that to make any sense. And I just feel like the entire last episode, I'm done. I am done with the MCU. I am fucking done. I'm done wasting my time.
There was a little explanation. There was a little explanation on all the people that had it. Obviously, this is something Gravik has been searching for a very long time.
As he should.
We know this. Know this. So obviously, he's done his research. He knows all of these people. He knows everything they've done and what they can do.
Because it was his team that was taking all the powers. So there is that. Like, yeah.
So, but the only person that was taking the powers was him. So, in his mind, he's the only one that had any DNA, any extra DNA from the actual heroes, we'll say,
Mm-hmm.
up until she defied him and went and zapped herself in the machine before she got shot by him.
Yep. And see, I can get behind, Ginty, I can get behind every single word that just came out of your mouth. I can get behind every one of that. It's when it gets to her. So at first it seems kind of like, oh, this is a bit much, but how can she do it all?
But she's also been a part of this team. She's been his number 2 since the beginning.
Since the beginning. So like when they were extracting stuff in Endgame, what's her name? Gaia. Gaia was a part of that, like retrieving all of the.
So you think about it. So obviously it's Talos' daughter. So that's a part, like that's Nick Fury's team. So the part of the extraction was Nick Fury. That was his thing that they were doing.
Right.
And Gravik was with him. So obviously we're going to assume that Talos was there and most likely Gaia was there as well.
It was my understanding that Gaia didn't get into that lifestyle until she started resenting her father and then went to follow Gravik. I don't know if they ever mentioned that she was actually extracting, but even so, just because you extracted the shit. So you're telling me there was these extensive trainings, and now are they the only two who can do it? Does everyone know how to use every single power that they retrieve from the site of Endgame?
Yeah, if they're a bad guy, and they can do it better than them.
And if that's so, you have to tell me that. You can't expect the audience to assume that. Like we can come up with all these theories, and this is what. But episode 6, boom, she gets the powers, he gets the powers. They know how to use all the powers. Boom, boom, take them down. Now she's the most powerful character in the MCU. Is she even coming back? Because that's another thing that the fucking MCU's been doing. They come up with these plot lines and these characters, and it's like, but will we see them again? Because it seems like these movies, for the most part, don't affect the next movie that comes out in the line. That doesn't make any sense to me. The way the MCU was for phase 1, 2, and 3, even if the movie had nothing to do with Thanos or Infinity Stones, by the end there was something to push the story forward. I feel like we're at the point with the MCU, guys, I'm tired of wasting my fucking time. I just, there's so much content, there's so much better shit I could be watching out there. I held on so goddamn long, but
maybe the big bad guy in Deadpool 3 is Daenerys Targaryen, Stormbreaker, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains, Arm of Drax, feelers of, and then powers of. I don't know why she just wouldn't use Captain Marvel's powers, because those are the most powerful anyway.
She used it at the end.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah,
she did.
Why didn't she just be Captain Marvel all the fucking time? You can't just cut. You can't just start creating characters that are more powerful than anyone we've ever seen. And
I'd rather Emilia Clarke than Brie Larson. So
if you're gonna do it, just make them only be a villain. Make us scared. You created a fucking hero that's more powerful than anything. She's gonna wipe the floor with Kang. She's gonna wipe her fucking asshole with Kang. She's the most powerful thing we've ever seen, ever.
Was there any sort of like thing saying like they're not as powerful or something? Because that's the only out that I could see.
No,
it's just.
But they might say it. They might say it randomly as a fucking cop out when they do the next movie. Yeah.
People are like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Oh no, they're not as powerful. They just have like some of the power of that person." But
there's no way that Kevin Feige is as involved in these two phases as phase 1, 2, and 3. You can't convince me that the same man who did phase 1, 2, and 3 still has his hand in the way. There's no way. He has to be busy because there's some shit that they do, guys, that I'm like, Kevin Feige would never. He would never, like the laziness, the pure. You don't care, and if you don't care, I don't care. So
I like how they tried to. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I like how they. No, go ahead.
I'll just end because I'm tired. I'm tired of fucking just yelling at it and shitting on it. Just to end my thought there, because I'm fucking done. I'm done with the MCU but I'm still gonna watch key things that I'm already very attached to. So like, if
welcome to the crowd. It's fun, right?
Yeah, I
I've been here
finally
for a
joined a lot of other people, which I'm sorry they pushed me this far. This is almost what happened with Walking Dead, where I held on, and then you killed Rick, and I'm like, why am I here? Why am I here? So
well, they didn't kill him, but yeah.
Right, yeah, which I will watch that. It doesn't matter, but
Whatever.
I haven't.
I will watch
so
key
much...
things. So I'm gonna watch Deadpool 3. You know what I mean? When they come out with a new Avengers movie, I'm gonna rush to see it. The Marvels, I'm not going to the fucking theater to see it. Unless everyone's, I mean, when it comes out. I don't give a fuck about those pre-reviews. When it comes out and everyone's like, this movie's insane, I'll go see it. But I'm done with opening weekend. I'm done with fucking canceling shit I got to do because the new MCU Disney Plus show just dropped today and I got to watch episode 1. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
What about Loki 2?
Loki 2, I'm already attached to season 1. I already have that. I want to see the second one. But new characters? If you come out with new characters, fucking...
Is that going to come out weekly, right? Yeah, that one came out weekly.
That's weekly, yeah.
Yeah. So we can
I'll watch that. But if you do a straight Kate Bishop show, it's fucking... Ms. Marvel, too. Ms. Marvel was all right, but... You want to come out with season 2? I don't got time. I just don't have time for that shit.
The universe has broken you.
It's
the other
broken
thing I'd like
me.
to say too is they tried to, which is a small thing, but they tried to. I think the biggest takeaway from this whole season, this whole show, was they tried to cop out Rhodey as being a Skrull this entire time from like the end of Civil War. Like they weren't clear about when they say that he was switched, but they have him in that that gown at the end of Civil War. So they're like trying to focus you that way, bitch. Which I finally read a thing that like cleared it up because the timeline is always kind of a little weird.
Yeah, you sent me that, and that does clear things up a lot.
And so it clears it up to the end of Endgame. So after Endgame is when he would have swapped. Yeah, which at first I think people were like, wait. So what's happening?
I immediately assumed it was Civil War because he's still in the gown. I'm like, oh fuck! Like he hasn't seen. Like I got aggravated, but you sent me that and it cleared up, and I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But did you see what the director said when they asked him?
No, I didn't see that.
This motherfucker! I'm so done with the MCU, guys. I'm so done. He starts with, I'd like to think that this is actually when it happened, but he doesn't have a fucking clue. He has no idea.
No.
You're telling me the director who directed this shit has no idea how long Rhodey's been a Skrull? This feels like The Last Jedi. This feels like Rise of Skywalker. This sounds like y'all don't know what the fuck is going on.
So they openly just said, it would be cool and kind of fun and cute without having like serious repercussions for things. They're just like, it'd be kind of cool if like it looked like he had been a Skrull since like Iron Man 2.
That's
like,
not the MCU.
Cheadle.
That's
like it was never Don Cheadle. It was never Don Cheadle. It was actually Howard.
That'd be low-key fire. That'd be low-key fire. You know what? That's so fucking dope that I'd forgive him for it. They're like, he's actually been a Skrull since Terrence. Yeah. They kind of didn't get the complexion and like the body type right, but like, yo, okay.
Oh my God.
All right, I see what you're doing. You thought about it. You thought about it.
If he just came out, he opened it, he was like, shit, man, I've been in there for a while.
So I mean,
that's a Hustle and Flow reference. If anybody doesn't get that, that's
no, I do.
Before the big reveal that he was a Skrull, I actually started getting like something's a little different because I didn't read anything going into any of the shows until right before I watched the last episode. Like I had no idea, and. It's the way he was talking. I was like,
well, I think they showed it in episode 5, right?
Oh, no, eventually, but they show him
earlier. I'm talking earlier.
Yeah. And I know what you mean, Ginty. I was on that shit too. I kept saying to my wife, I'm like, he's acting fucking like, why is he such a douchebag all of a sudden? Yeah. I thought it was the writers. I was like, oh, what the fuck are you guys like? Why are you changing this character?
I saw it immediately. I was like, oh, he's a Skrull.
Really? Trying to make him seem funny like he was in some of the other Avenger movies because
Yeah.
he was pretty like but that's not comic. That's douchery. That's
I
straight
thought
douchery.
I thought that they
But
were
the
gonna do. Oh, sorry.
but the main thing I noticed was he had no braces on.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you could
he
see him, and even in other outfits, you could see the braces with his clothes.
See, I saw
He
that. I
had
never
no
caught
braces.
that. I never really, because I know I saw like this picture from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it like showed like the lights coming through his suit and shit. And I never
That's
caught
right.
that. I didn't catch on to that.
See,
I didn't
Yeah.
see it when I saw Falcon and
I
Winter
saw that
Soldier.
I saw that immediately, and I was like, wait, how come he doesn't have the things? And I was like, oh, maybe I was like, I might have missed something where he got better tech. Like Tony Stark's tech did something more. Like I could have missed that, so I didn't even like think of that.
Or
But I just
maybe
thought
an
immediately.
implant or something, but no.
I just thought immediately he was being a dick, and I'm like, he's not a dick though. Like he's not that much of a douche. I'm like, oh, he's a
No.
Skrull. And then I was like, I was like, are they gonna have like that Nick Fury's a Skrull this entire time or something?
I was suspecting
Like,
that
did they-
shit for a while.
I was like, were they gonna swap him like after when Talos kind like died? Like, is he gonna swap and be him? And then I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't think they're gonna do that. 'Cause
guys,
they're trying to really make it a Nick Fury thing.
Another big point that I'm happy you mentioned that because it made me remember something that really was a red flag. I thought Nick Fury was a Skrull because how different he was talking and acting. He's sitting there like, brother, man, you think I'm gonna like?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a little like. Nick Fury was more sophisticated. He was a hard ass, but he was like. This Nick Fury talks he just acts completely different. Completely
It's
different.
also too the longest you've seen him on like screen. Like it's the most you've seen of
Yeah,
him
that's
just being
fair.
him.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
That's
And
what I
he also-
attributed to, but I was also like he could be a Skrull. I don't know. That's the part I did like about the show is that
was fun.
although looking back, like with like hindsight's 2020, where they totally spelled out everybody that was a Skrull. They did. They showed. They told you if you are paying attention and just take it at face value, everybody that was a Skrull, you knew it was right away. But it did a good enough job to mask it a little bit the first time you watch it. Now when you go back, you're like, oh. Yeah, there's not much of
Now I see. Yeah,
that's the other problem that exists with this show is there's not a big rewatchability to it. Like you're not going to go back and have like the Sixth Sense type of reveal where it's like
now that you know
this, I want to go back and now that I know he's a Skrull, like let's see like does he tip it off at any point? It's just like oh no, they just didn't show you, but then they show you that Don Cheadle, that Rhodey's character is a Skrull.
WandaVision would be the
like,
best out of all the shows on. Now that I know the very M. Night Shyamalan feel. Now that I know this, rewatching the whole show, I think WandaVision did the best at that.
Yeah, it's not. But I mean, again, these shows have never been known for their brilliant writing. None
Most
of the MCU's
been
known for its brilliant writing. It's just
some
good
of it,
action,
pretty good writing.
stories.
There's some of it. I ain't gonna let you do that,
like,
Mike. You can't do that.
Okay, all right. I can't talk out of my ass that much. Okay, I was seeing where the line was. No,
I don't know.
There's some
man.
really.
I don't know. You're going off the cliff, and like maybe if I give him a parachute, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's
okay. I'll retract that. Like Civil War's got some brilliant shit. But,
I think Civil War's got some good shit. I think Infinity War and Endgame got some good shit in there.
Yeah.
There's parts where they trickle off, but Winter Soldier, like there's some good writing.
No,
I'm
not. I'll back it up. I caught the parachute. Thank you, Josh. But no, but
forcing it on you.
I really wanted to, and this one did. So it was weird because like the show did have. When it was announced, I did not care at all for this. Like
really?
Not one bit. This was really a watch because I know you had watched it, and I knew we would eventually talk about it, and I figured the first episode's an hour, the second episode's an hour, but then it trickles down to like 35 minutes. So I was like, I could bang out
which is odd
an
too.
afternoon of watching. And again, I was into it. I liked it. It just didn't quite become what I wanted it to be, but that's more my fault than the show not being good enough. I think it's a fine watch. I don't think you would watch this one and go, I really wish I didn't watch that. I think Samuel Ellen is really good. Like you said, what's his name? Is probably one of the better villains that you'll see in the
Gravik
MCU.
was great.
Gravik was good.
I call him Krennic because he played director Krennic in Rogue One. He'll always just be Krennic to me. I can't but I think the performances across the board. I think we're great in the show. Again, up until the last episode, it would have been in my top 3. I was and that was the thing that didn't make sense. All these reviews were coming out, and people like, it's lackluster, it's this, it's that. It's like, guys, I'm fucking enjoying the shit out of this. I think there's some good stuff happening.
I loved the dynamic between Samuel Fury's character and his wife. I love that, that conversation they have at the dinner table. It's amazing. So I will say that I'll step it back with the writing. Crazy. Yeah, I will step it back and say that the writing in that episode was really good. And what makes someone in love with you, or I loved that part.
The way it ended, where she's she asked him, if I didn't take on this appearance, would you still love me? And he says, we'll never know. And he walks out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh
that was good.
God. That was like Han Solo when Leia said, I love you, and he said, I know.
But then the ending of this...
But he did it.
Yeah, the ending just kind of left on this, you're forcing a love story here that, was perfect if you left it the way it was, and maybe didn't say too much. Didn't have it come back and, have this whole big conversation. All you had to do is have her show up, and we all get it. We get it.
It's like they had a completely different team do the last episode. Because exactly, the way they ended, if he would have just left and said, I guess we'll never know, we know that he would have always loved her no matter what. Mm-hmm. We know that. But the fact that he left it like that is brilliant.
And all you had to do was have her, when he tells her, I'm leaving and, you know where to find me. And even if you just had him, when he was about to leave, just look over and she's in the wood lining and walk up and then end credits. That's it. We don't have to have this other fucking dialogue that had a sloppy ending. We would get what's happening there. And it's just I don't know. And I had sent this to you. I'm like, it must just be an Amelia Clark thing. They just don't know how to end when she's on set.
No,
maybe she's just
they don't know what to
distracting the writers too much.
Yeah,
They're
she's
just
so attractive. Everyone's like, fuck. How do I write?
We don't know how do I write? Yeah. It's just it's a shame that it wasn't better, but it wasn't as bad as it's getting bombed for. I think it's a little bit. I think it's definitely
I know.
Watch.
So I pulled up the Rotten Tomatoes. It got overall for season 1 got a 55 on the review meter, which confuses me, and then a 53 audience score, which also confuses me. Mm-hmm. I even hardcore critics you guys didn't think it was not rotten, for the writing for all the episodes until the last one. I don't know. This one really confuses me. I don't understand it. Usually I can take both ratings and I'm like, this makes sense.
Aggregate it. Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, and it's weird because it wasn't paced bad. It didn't have... No. I'm trying to think back. I mean, I watched... And I will not be a part of a show. I'm not into it if I'm not into it. If it's not good, I'm I'm out. I don't care if it's good. I'll watch a man of recaps of these episodes if I have to. But everything kept me in it. What's going to happen? Oh my God, is it the president going to get taken? Is it I think the stakes turned out to be a little bit too high, but also for what it was fine until, like you said, the last episode just did the bad comic book movie thing where they're let's just give the bad guy a lot of powers and have
they didn't know how to stick the landing.
And then the fight wasn't even that good. It was just what is this crap?
That's the other thing. You want to introduce a concept like this and you have the fight be lackluster?
It was
it really feels like a completely different team did the last episode. I was baffled. I was confused, and as time goes on, it's what is
I would
this?
I would be interested to see when this was in production, and I wonder if this was supposed to be a 10 episode thing, or have another have him get the power earlier and some other thing happen, and they got cold feet and just said no, just end it. Because 6 episodes with episodes being 35 minutes just feels weird.
It was super weird and abrupt.
A lot of the episodes ending didn't feel like official endings. I remember I was on my phone, kind of, doing the thing I always do where I'm watching and kind of scrolling and listening and watching and just doing the thing. And then I'd look up and I'm watching something happen, and then it's suddenly credits, and you're oh, that's the end of the episode. That's wow, this is flying by kind of. And then it just wraps up in a weird rushed way, and it just I wonder if they just got cold feet because of maybe like it was something else, had something
Because
else
Kevin
come out
Feige wasn't
recently.
there to guide him to the finish line. That I just
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. I firmly believe it. And
Right.
maybe that he can come back and get more focused. I don't know what this man's
Ooh.
doing. He's not even at the like,
What?
we used to see this man all the time giving out news and making all these interviews. I haven't even seen him. I don't even know where the fuck he is. Like,
No, I'm wondering. I'm
He's a
wondering
scroll. He's a scroll
if
the
the
whole
way
time.
it ended had to do with the strike.
maybe
No, because that happened way
Because
sooner. Because
but but
that
this
show's been
didn't.
in production for
But Mike,
eight
what
Yeah.
if
nine
what
months
you're
now.
saying is true? What if they did want to go longer? Maybe they
Yes.
weren't done. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe.
because
Yeah.
it came out what 2 months after the strike started.
But the
Yeah.
post production takes on a show like that would take way too
That's
long.
true, and I'm pretty sure the budget was higher than most of the MCU Disney Plus
Yeah.
shows. Yeah,
But they've also been on the record saying that all of those MCU the shows, the movies, they're still doing things up until like the end, like right till it's about to be released.
Yeah, I
They're
just
going
don't.
yeah,
back
but you
doing
would think they
reshoots
would
and
have more
rewrites
of their
and
2
story
months
put
isn't
together.
2 months isn't long enough. 2 months isn't long enough for post production for a show like that.
No,
It's just
that's
not.
true.
It's
not the whole show. Maybe the final 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
You know what? The
You gotta,
shit with the people who do CGI started a lot before the writers' strike. Maybe that had
yes,
something to do with because they were starting their own thing. The people who were being like underpaid,
yeah,
overworked for the CGI.
oh yeah.
Maybe that
yeah.
had something. Maybe they were like they were starting to go on strike, and they didn't want to finish the rest of the episodes because it feels like we were on a path to tell. There was a lot of storytelling to be told.
Yeah,
And it feels
there
like we
was.
just fucking ended. Like I really do think Mike's on to something where they there had to be more. There had to be a longer plan. You don't just do a 6 episode fucking series with characters like Nick Fury, you know what I mean? And characters as important as the Skrulls taking over
Yeah,
like that. You don't do 6 episodes. You just don't.
and not like and going back to the fact that I'm gonna go out. I'm just gonna say it. Gravik is probably one of the better fucking villains that we've seen in a long time in the MCU.
Where did that actor come from? That's my question because all of a sudden I see this man everywhere. He's in the new Barbie movie as one of the Kens. He's playing. Did you guys see the trailer for the Bob Marley biopic they're doing?
No,
He's
No, I
playing
didn't.
Bob Marley, and I gotta say, if you tell me they're doing a Bob Marley biopic, I'm like, yeah, yeah. I watched the trailer, and I'm like, I might go to the theaters and see this, like a Bohemian Rhapsody type thing. I very much enjoyed
Filming-
that movie.
okay.
Filming wrapped in. Sorry to cut back. I just wanted to clear
No,
this
it's
up.
fine. We needed that information.
Filming wrapped April 25th, 2022, and there was some reshoots in August. But that's it. Like I said, a show like this, a show that big,
The budget was
post-production
high
is
too. I'm pretty sure it was like
8-9 months.
200.
It's not. Yeah, it's not 2 months. It's 9 months, 10 months. It's a long time. Shows like that's why we're not feeling the blowback from shows yet. Like shows and movies haven't begun to really start affecting. Like things that are coming out
Well,
are
it
starting to
just
get pushed a
started.
little bit. It just started, but like
Yeah,
even movies that
Took
are
a
coming
while.
out next year are going to be like so movies like Marvel that's doing so many projects and have so many things in the works, those are
Yeah.
going to get affected immediately because they push shit right up to the very end. Like things are being written for stuff coming out next year because it's all timed, like they're filming but like movies
Yeah.
that were already written and filming right now, they might not have reshoots, they might not have scripts being re-edited and stuff. We won't see the actual blowback from this strike until the end of next year is when there's going to be a huge deficit of
like when
movies.
Across the
Like,
Spider-Verse is supposed to fucking come out, and that shit's
yeah.
delayed indefinitely. They don't even have a
Yeah.
date for it.
yeah, House of Dragon season 2 is not
Yep,
going to
that was
be-
one of the immediate ones. That was one of the first, right? That we kind of heard of
Yeah.
was House of the Dragons getting delayed.
What's the one that the big one that was done basically that they were like, oh, we had the Maybe it was House of Dragon. That's not. Oh no, no, that one is getting delayed. I'm trying to think. There's a show or a movie coming out that's not going to be affected by it because of something.
Oh,
maybe the Marvels.
No,
Would it be the
it
Marvels?
was something bigger than that. No, something more.
No, I know what you mean,
like,
though.
wanted than
Yeah,
that.
something bigger than that fucking piece of shit.
Fucking hell. Who even cares about that? Who cares? Like,
I fucking don't. I did 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
all right, it's been an hour and a half. We got to get out.
Yeah,
of
we gotta wrap this up. Taupe, you got a drink of the week for us?
I do. I'm just I literally came back down from making my delicious sweet mustache and just looked at the bar. And I think I fucking came up with a good one, and I think you would even want to try this one. I'm gonna make a fucking root beer float.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I have got root beer soda jerk. So this is a root beer vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's fucking delicious. So yeah. Get a couple of shots in there. Get some Pinnacle whipped.
I used to have a blue Pinnacle shirt that said "Get whipped."
That's dope.
Sidebar.
Good. And Ryan's Irish cream.
Good old Ryan's. Yep.
I mean, I think it's gonna be good. And I'm doing this fucking warm, no ice.
Champ.
Fucking cheers.
Salud.
That's fucking dangerous.
I gotta try that. I feel like I would really like that.
Dude, that is
good.
100% booze.
Yeah.
There's no mix. There's no mixer in that. That is
no milk, none.
Two vodkas and a fucking Irish cream.
Yeah,
I gotta try that.
Dude, I don't know if you can find the soda jerk at your liquor store or not, but if you cannot, you might be able to either order it from their website if they have that available, or go to cwspirits.com. And they have all kinds of shit you can order. And
good to know.
A lot of specialty stuff.
They should sponsor us. So, we should get paid off this.
I would love to. I would love to get sponsored by CW Spirits.
You said that was a vodka?
A lot. It's a vodka.
Okay.
So yeah. So they only have two.
Whiskey would be really good.
Yeah. So it's root beer vodka, and the other one is orange cream soda jerk. So it's an orange cream vodka.
That sounds good.
Delicious. It's a dreamsicle.
Right. Yeah. That sounds great. Hell yeah.
No, that was yeah. I mean, obviously you can feel the heat from the booze, but there's no actual burn. Doesn't hurt to drink. And there's no like, oh no, that was like, fuck, I might make another one.
I'm definitely gonna try that. 100%.
I mean that's scary in a pint glass of ice.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But that's all we got today on episode 26. We back, baby. We bussin', we rolling, we dropping episodes week to week. Join us live on the Facebook. You can find me right here. I don't even know where you can find me anymore. It's been so long. Mike, where can they find you?
Still in Italy. This is just a green screen behind me. Brought it there. I am no longer a U.S. citizen. I am now Italiano. So, ciao.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and Ginty, where can they find you drinking?
so you're gonna find me here weekly drinking on Personified Fandom. Also, you can find me right over here in the corner, toke.24_NR on Tiki Talk. I am live almost every Friday night and most Saturday nights.
Hell yeah. And yeah, be sure to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, check out our TikTok, share our videos if you like them, engage in the comment section, all that fun stuff. And until next week, everybody. Oh, hey, look at you. You made it to the end of the video. Well, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. Should be over here, I hope. Also, check out some of the other videos we have on the channel right over here. Do it. Click the video. Click the video. Dude,